Welcome back once again for potentially our last map of the evening. Not if Alberta has anything to say about it, though. We see SJSU held serve on bind. Their 72% win rate, I believe, on that attacking half showed true. They end up clutching up Thigwarb with a clip that we're going to watch back for time, using both blast packs, both to displace himself and an enemy to clutch up a 3v1 or a 3k rather to win that game. Alberta going over to one of their better maps, which is going to be Fracture. They have an absolutely lethal attack on Fracture. It's going to be up to SJSU to see if they can, kind of stick that fork in the road and take that trip up to Riot Studios, or if Alberta is going to give one more last hope for Canada here.
Looking over at the matchups here, at the very least, on the maps, the teams that they played specifically on Fracture here, there's a whole boatload of very, very strong teams that Alberta has beat on Fracture. That is the main thing that I'm looking at here, because I look at the opposite side and I see SJSU got a victory on Fracture. Great, but it's against Boise State. It's not against a team as strong, I want to say, as the likes of Alberta here. And I think especially if you were using this as your sort of second map pick here, you definitely know that if your backs are up against the wall, if you lose the other two map picks, you are confident that you are going to come into Fracture and that you are going to dominate to the best of your abilities. I feel like this is a team that can really just push it to the limit. They go with effectively the Optic Comp plus a Sage, actually, so putting a little bit of a difference into it. And overall, Alberta, it just feels right that this goes to 5. Let's be real, like, it's been so close back and forth, even in these games individually. So I don't know, it just, I know,
listen,
right.
We're not on too much Canadian copium. I also believe Alberta will end up taking Fracture game 5. I think we're going to almost undoubtedly end up seeing, obviously, we have been prone to cursing some of these teams on the broadcast. Sorry, USC Cardinal, once again, I will apologize until I feel no longer necessary. But Alberta, this is going to be one of their stronger maps. Like you said, we are finally going to see, I believe, our first Sage of the weekend. I know Adam is going to be very, very excited for that one. We're going to see pretty much that Optic Comp coming through, as you said. Curious to see what we're going to see out of SJSU. It is going to be, Alberta on this attacking side first. So they're going to be looking to kind of see what we saw from SJ on that attacking side on bind. They're going to look to try to win that 7, that 8 mark, maybe even higher, depending how they're going to play. And Fracture, as we said, it's one of those maps, if you've not scrimmed it into the ground, if you're into a team that is very familiar and very confident, you can be in for a long, long night.
Yeah, and I think especially because of, we saw some different comps come through on Fracture earlier today, the fact that we're now seeing the Sage thrown into the mix here, makes it a little bit different at that, because Sage is one of those agents that, she's either really good on a map or really bad on a map. And it's just a situation where you've got that res, you've got that agency to just sort of bring someone back up. It's such a powerful ultimate, and especially when you've got someone who's popping off. You've got Velocity, who's just absolutely massive. It doesn't matter if he's the first blood there. You just say, hey, come on back up. Let's get you back in the game here. It can change the vibes of a round so quickly in that regard, especially if you're able to just, insta-res someone going in the pocket, holding your hands up, being like, okay, yeah, come on right up. Right when you get shot down, that's the play that I like to do a lot of the times. But nonetheless, I think that it's an interesting comp, and for them to use that comp every single time, and for it to be a set-piece comp, shows how confident they are and how well practiced they are on that comp specifically.
Yeah, and I wonder how good this Neon is going to be. Neon always seems to be kind of that catalyst for this quote-unquote Optic comp onto Fracture. It's kind of one of the main points, whether you want to dive in fast to get information. We saw Neon earlier, I believe maybe it was Josh that played it or someone. They would either play that super high aggression game, try to get in there in the first 3 or 4 rounds, ended up finding some picks, and then after that, and when they kind of make a read, they make that adjustment, you get in there and you get right back out, at least to bait some utility, get some information. Neon, Fracture being one of those larger maps, she just gives you the ability to just kind of skate all over that map. You can kind of set up these weird kind of off angles, similar to Pearl in a sense, where there's a lot more ability to lurk and kind of set up these like little trap plays you can get against people, I like to call them. But also it's going to come down to, what is your set pieces? What do you know you can, what do your executions look like on offense? For Alberta, we know their executions are tight, they're clean. It's going to be on SJSU to really show up on defense and then really take it to them on that attacking side.
Yeah, and looking at the comp that was played on Fracture by SJSU previous, they did not have a Neon. They went Raise Fade instead as that option. Of course, you have the Chamber, you've got the Breach Brimstone, the Beer Bros as usual, but nonetheless, it's an interesting comp to come through because it isn't the Optic comp either. Neither of these teams play the full Optic comp that has been just sort of the plug and play. You see Fracture and Wreck, you're like, oh yeah, you're playing Neon. You play Jet, no, you're playing Neon. You're playing Neon in that situation. You just find everything that works in your sense. But nonetheless, I'm curious to see how it plays out because, of course, this is a map that SJSU, maybe they've just hidden in the back pocket. Maybe they're saying, you know what, you're falling right into our traps in that situation. We've discriminated this for the last 4 weeks nonstop. You will not beat us on Fracture or something like that. At the same time, it really comes down to the performance of the day, and Fracture is one of those maps, that you either you gotta just try and roll with it and try and just stomp in that situation, or you might get bitten in the back.
You might get snake bit. That's the thing. Dude, does SJSU, is this one of their pocket picks? It's always hard to tell. We only have so much data on all these teams. We don't know about off-stream games, some in-house scrims maybe. There's always that level of mystery, that shroud, that veil over some of these teams where you might think, okay, they played one Fracture map, they maybe they were 1-0, maybe it was like a 13-10 game, but did they play Fracture 75 times in the last 2 months? No one has any idea what goes on in these meeting rooms, what happens in all of these scrims. I would have to lean Alberta, definitely, based on the stats that we have. Alberta, they're more willing to go to Fracture, which has to tell me they're willing to, they found success there, and that win rate does show that as well. So I have to think Alberta is going to walk out with a W here. I would not be surprised to see something like a 13-9 or a 13-10 game coming out of this one.
That's bold predictions coming through, just given the score, because those ones are like, oh man, if you're wrong, you're wrong, right? Like if we go to like 8 overtimes or something, it's just like, man, you said 13-9. What's going on over there? Nonetheless, I mean, we can see the inselect a little bit earlier. They just insta-lost their comp. Alberta said, you know what, this is our comp. We are playing it. We are so confident in this that they are going for it. And I think at this point, when your backs are up against the wall, for a team like Alberta, they've been in this situation before. They've been in this situation where, you drop map 1 or you drop map 2 or something. You're saying, you know what, we're going to be fine. We're going to go to map 3 and we're going to push it out. But in these best of 5s, when you need to keep your grit about you, you need to keep your composure. It all comes down to if you can execute on what you're most comfortable on. And I think that this comp, it's just so comfortable for the side of Alberta. I don't see a way where they lose, and that might just be the casting curse that
I know Alberta, at least on Bind, it felt like they were in kind of like a cage fight. They were backed up against the fence, kind of getting beat off on. They didn't really have time to explode out and counterattack. They have this fresh map though, and it's a map they feel so good on. And I'll tell you what, they have no choice but to perform. This could potentially be their last game. Not their last game. If they lose, they will go to that loser's final, but you want to qualify for LAN. You don't want to leave anything to chance. We know UBC is a very solid team. Alberta not wanting to deal with that battle of West Coast Canada. They want to punch their ticket to LA as fast as possible. We're going to get underway Fracture now.
Yeah, you can see already just the action coming in. Shimmy able to find one. John Hamm able to return, but they're just all going through Arcade here. Already the action coming down, and Alberta getting the man advantage. The Sage getting onto the site, gonna find that plant as well. The thing I want to point out, 3 ult points already, so they're farming everything into Shimmy. They want to get this res up as quickly as possible, and now this retake gonna be oh so difficult. Oh, Shimmy, you're just being a rat at this point too, walling off the spike.
Daddy though, picking up that kill over onto Atlas. Look at these health bars for 2 of these members. Going to be oh so low. SJ, they gotta find some way to find these weird little quirky angles. Maybe find that one tap. Although this is going to be the waiting out game from Alberta. They got exactly what they wanted. They got the site. They got that plant. Now, just try to play on this clock.
It's just a slow march forward. Cam, 1 shot away. Teddy, maybe a couple more in the back pocket, but they've got their knives up. They've got to cut this through. I don't even think they've got enough time if that was the case. Teddy finding a frag for themselves. Shimmy trying to find this last one, or sorry, gonna be able to find the last 2 actually before they go down to the spike. It's gonna work out in their favor. They die to the spike, but nonetheless, good round from Alberta.
I'll tell you what, that was a big play from Witter. They would have got that defuse. Teddy got above that halfway mark. Yeah, there was that last 2.5 seconds. Teddy 100% would have had that defuse. Witter making a very strong read, a very proactive play as well to find that last kill. Dies to the spike, not gonna matter though. We're gonna see 3 rifles coming through from Alberta now, and we talked about their confidence in this attacking side. Not many teams are going to force 3 rifles on round 2. They could potentially force a 4th if they want to, but they're not going to get that greedy. But 3 rifles, they're looking to make a play.
Yeah, and of course, on this offensive side, why they're not even sprinting forward here, just walking up through Dish. But look how many members they're sending. This is so strange just to see what, 4 members walking through Dish. It's usually just one person lurking, picking up the orb, something along those lines, but it's a complete miss on the read here. Look at how many members of SJSU are looking through main, and they're already onto site. It's too late.
It's gonna find that first kill on the Witter though, try to at least keep these numbers game intel. These rifles though, still gonna be an absolute handful to deal with. Velocity and Curry linking up for a pair there. Curry gonna make it 2 on that board. 4v1 all onto Teddy. A Sage Wall and a Dream. He's gonna find the first headshot though. Gonna waste a couple more of those headhunter shots. Has 2 left in that chamber. No pun intended there. Seeing if he can find these last couple kills. Very tall order and a very tall Sage Wall standing in the way. That is the annoying part about Sage. It just splits that site right in half. You can't really work through it. You have to wait out that timer, especially if you don't have 2 or 3 teammates to go over there and melee the crap out of it. Alberta, though, showing why they're so strong on offense early on. Teddy, though, putting up a nice performance to kick things off as well.
Now, Teddy doing what they can, and I mean, it's been the consistent factor, I want to say, for the side of SJSU, is that Teddy is going to be at or near the top of your frag list there. This Sentinel player has been so good playing the Sentinels and then playing the Chamber as well. So overall, SJSU just trying to find any sort of momentum. But I mean, look at the buys. They just all bought full rifles on round 2, and now it's just going to town against the side of SJSU. It's going to be even buys going. This is barely a bonus versus a full buy. This is going to be just going at it. Whoever wins or loses is going to be in tow. And Shimmy, big were blinding kills early on here. 4v4 action early on. Is actually Teddy able to find the
Teddy's still doing a boatload of work. Look at Curry in tunnel, snaking around here like the little rat here, trying to find that boombot though. Perfectly there down that staircase. Clear out tunnel. Flash comes through as well, trying to at least strike some fear into Curry's heart. He's going to send that aftershock back the other way. Up into tower there. Chem going to back off for that time though. Looks like it's going to be Thigwarp trying to play this angle. The Sage res going to come through. One spray going to be good, but that res going to equalize those numbers right back up. 3v3 Alberta. Not quite as aggressive this time. SJSU a much more sound defensive start to this round.
A round 3 res. Okay. So that's their plan. They just continue to res. They're playing 6v5 at this point every other round. Teddy, though, going to find a nice shot onto Atlas. Seems like they are moving over towards that opposite side, but will they find the rotation in time? That's the situation because Witter can just run there so quickly. Probably another ult orb. No, not going to use it from inside of the Sage, but they're going to find that plant down and out. Witter already into their spawn. This difference with having the Neon versus not having the Neon is massive because these rotations are just so quick coming through from you, Alberta. Witter just needs to land those shots there, gets a little bit of damage. Not quite going to be enough. Jimmy going to back that one up as Khan going to be able to have any influence in the chamber. Looks down A main and sees the wall. Says, oh man, this is going to be a long
that is
walk.
a very annoying sight to see for any defending team, especially trying to play this retake. Witter did such a good job. SJ had that 3v2 advantage. They tried to peek Witter 1v1. He won both of those trades. Now Chem trying to figure out some way to keep these two trapped in the corner. Chem get a swing. Witter on that pre-fire. Going to take him out, though. All going to be on one member of SJ here. Teddy trying to make heads or tails of it. Shimmy, though, picks up his 3rd in the round. That Battle Sage proving to be fruitful already. Alberta proving that their attacking half on Fracture is no joke.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. A 5-2-1 already. Already used an ultimate and 3 out of 8 points already back towards it. They are planning on playing this game 6v5 as often as possible. And on the flip side, while Teddy has that tour de force available, the rest of the team forced to go on a little bit of a save. There's going to be some stingers, maybe a judge coming through if they're really feeling ballsy. And I mean, I think that realistically, shotgun's not bad on Fracture, all things considered. There's a couple of corners that you can really rat out, but nonetheless, once again, they're going for the slow walk up Dish. They did this last time, and it seems with SJSU were just falling for the trap once again.
Activated that trap card yet again. Witter trying to get that fast feet ready to go. Not going to commit to anything quite yet, though. Velocity always one to try to find the angle. Look at the timing. Teddy is going to take off that trademark and immediately retreat. He has that tour de force, but you don't want to toss that sucker way too early. Witter, though, going to get right in on sight here. Going to send out those double stuns. Shimmy picks up the first kill. Chem and Thigwarp, though, 3-piece with those SMGs. Witter with the turn and burn on the Khan, though. Now into this 3v2. Teddy does have that tour de force. Thigwarp trying to find the timing. That Battle Stinger going to be a little bit too much there. Teddy still has this tour de force. That spike, look where that thing is. Velocity. You got a lot of work to do, man, to dig this one out of there.
Yeah, of course, Velocity are just going to try and find what they can. Thigwarp doesn't have a whole lot of health, but sort of hiding behind the enemy wall there, taking advantage of the terrain put up in place. But of course, these peaks are going to be so difficult. The Velocity finds it! Velocity finds the 2! He clutches the round.
How did he find that first kill? Unbelievable.
At this point, do we question how Velocity does this?
No.
Let's be real.
No, you're right. No.
No.
Why not?
Dude's cracked. Nonetheless, great round coming through for you, Alberta, and this is what I mean. They're so confident on this map, even going up against, the Stingers, going up against a little bit of a scuffed by. The Tour de Force is really that equalizer for the side of SJSU, and unfortunately falls to the wayside, courtesy of one bullet from the side of Velocity right to the head. That Vandal working overtime, and now it's a little bit of a lurk now coming through from Shimmy. Seems as if they're changing up the strategies. You can see how many different ways of approaching these sites you Alberta have, and that just shows how often they play this map and how confident they are on it. 6 out of 8 on that ultimate once again. Shimmy might be looking for the orb for the time being. Just going to keep holding these angles. Velocity going to find Teddy on the side. Once again, winning that one.
Shimmy is the true definition of a battle sage. Getting in there, getting his hands dirty, leading that frontline charge, even though he should be that backline healer. That's the kind of sage you like to see. All Velocity. Operator taken out of his hands. He was not ready for that swing. It was that split push. Shimmy now going to cross back over ropes here. Try to swing over to this B side to group up with his teammates. Try to get this bomb planted down. This A side, though, 2 members of SJSU waiting in tow for nothing to come. It's going to be this B side push, all going to be on Chem to see if he can hold serve until some rotations can come through.
Yeah, and it's the Fade, but she doesn't have too much utility to sort of combat it out. I think she's still got a Prowler. Never mind, she's got the aim as the advantage. It's all going to be down to Shimmy, and John Hamm finds 3 in the round. Finally, SJSU get
yeah, SJ actually winning out on a 2v3 there. That last member was still making his way over from A, but nonetheless, they're going to finally take their first of the game. They're going to hopefully slow some momentum out of this Alberta offense, take some wind out of their sails. They should be able to put together a good buy. At least SJ, they'll have a great buy. Looks like Alberta maybe going to scrape together a couple of those hero rifles. They seem to like to do that 3 rifle combo when they can. Velocity does have that Tour de Force, though, and they have the Neon Ultimate, actually. So this kind of worked out perfectly for Alberta, considering.
It makes out.
Chambers going.
Yeah, it works out well, because I think there was a couple of these members who just purchased for other players as well, but they're going to be going Pikachu mode, running forward aggressively. Oh my goodness! I think we're not going to land the showstopper, but they're just falling into the teeth of the defense here. It's going to be Velocity around the back, though. Looking for these quick shots. Found almost everyone, but it's all going to fall onto Atlas again. And it was a leg shot coming through that ended up being that difference maker. Wasn't able to find that second kill. Atlas finds 1, but John Hamm finds 4. It's more than enough as the Brimstone stands strong. And SJSU pushing back, giving a little bit of resistance here.
And they eat 2 big ultimates as well and basically toss them to the side and say, we ain't worried about all that stuff. They had to burn a couple of their own. That showstopper didn't quite find what they were looking for, but it wasn't too heavy of an investment otherwise. Now Alberta, they're going to kind of have to take that back seat this game. Only one of these members is going to be able to afford a rifle armor. So we're going to see a couple Stingers, maybe a Spectre or 2, possibly a Sheriff or that Guardian. We have been seeing a ton of the Guardian recently as well, so not going to be too surprising. Fracture, you're going to have a little bit of room to take some of these longer angles, but Alberta now getting their lead cut in half at least.
And I think the biggest thing about this Guardian is that it's always Atlas picking it up. It's either Atlas or Witter, I believe. They're just able to land these headshots. And I mean, maybe might be contributing to the higher headshot percentage just because they practice the Guardian and all that sort of stuff. But, Atlas, I think, was the other member. He had like 40% headshot percentage, which is ridiculous. And I mean, when you've got training on the Guardian so often, you kind of have to get good at hitting heads.
John Hamm, good at hitting heads, takes out Velocity nice and early. SJSU off to a pretty good start. They're taking out Velocity. Oh, that Sage Wall gonna come up. Not gonna matter though. Teddy gonna shut down Shimmy as well. And Chem picking up Witter. You Alberta getting absolutely massacred these last couple rounds. This is a very good round for SJSU. If they're able to all stay alive, I mean, look where that spike is. They can basically, they can draw a circle on the ground. They can dance around that thing all day. All going to be on Curry. Oh, he's going to land 1 dink there. That's going to be enough for Thinkwarp, though. He's going to go back, play that safely. They're going to maybe try to find this last kill. Curry also down to 1 shot, though, as well.
Yeah, and wow, just going to be able to turn around that corner. The team ace comes down. It's 3 rounds in a row for SJSU here, but nonetheless, finally a full buy to come back the opposite way here for the side of U Alberta. They've got everything in tow. Don't need to rely on these ultimates that time around. Granted, Atlas not quite going to have all of the utility there to be able to afford full shields, or would have to be able to take the light shields with full utility. Seems as if they want the smokes. They value that greatly. And this is a very pivotal round because you see the momentum. You see how it shifted over. John Hamm having an absolute monster the game for SJSU here after in the last 3 rounds specifically. And now we'll see if they can turn up the heat. This time, though, 4 through A main. And they've read it once again. Look at this. There's 3 through dish. They expect them to go through dish.
Very much expecting that dish push. They're going to send that lone chamber roam back toward that B site, but it is a very heavy A-hole stack by these members. That Neon getting those fancy feet ready to go flying over onto that A site. They think they may have gotten that audio cue. They might have a read they're looking for. Now they're going to make a read, though. The Rolling Thunder and the Neon going to dash right onto site there. They know it's going to be that A execute. Rolling Thunder back the other way. The paint shell's picking one up. Think we're good for 2.
Oh my goodness.
Orbital strike good for a 3rd as well. Beautiful paint shells to get Witter out of that corner. SJSU with some S-tier utility.
My goodness, SJSU are just turning the tides here against all expectations. 4 rounds in a row where Alberta were just absolutely dominant. And then all of a sudden, SJSU come to light. They turn up the heat. Now it is velocity against the world. Granted, you're going to put your money on anyone to carry that 1v5. At the top of the day, you'd say velocity, and I'd still wager it on him there. Nonetheless, it's going to be very difficult. I still think that SJSU are going to be able to secure this round up, but its velocity can find a couple of frags here or there.
30 seconds
be the worst
left.
case situation, especially with everyone playing offsite.
I think the best course of action might be to play for a save. I know it might be a good idea to try to get a couple of these guns back, but that economy of Alberta is already so down in the dumps. Maybe he says, screw it. Either way, we're not going to have a lot of money, but I think having that Vandal, especially on one of your better players, is definitely going to be the right play. He doesn't
10
have that tour de
seconds
force
left.
to fall back on, so any gun you can keep right now to try to stifle that economy later on is going to be what you're looking for. He's going to hunker down here in this spawn. Let those members cross above ropes there. Not going to worry about that one. Time will expire. 4 in a row for SJSU.
And this is a little bit scary now
sketchy.
because you look at the purchases coming through the opposite way. Stinger once again for Shimmy. Might see a Guardian for Atlas or something along those lines once again if they so desire. It's just, yeah, I mean, look, oh my goodness, they're rich.
Rich.
It's the currency exchange. It's the currency exchange coming through once again, you know?
Canadian rubles, man.
I mean, the Canadian dollar being, 37 cents US. We joke about that. It's actually not that bad. But it's seen better days. We'll put it that way. There was a time where the Canadian dollar was stronger than the US dollar, and those days are
Yeah, sound like old man yells at cloud there, but Alberta looking to yell somewhere, trying to find some value here. Witter getting those early shots. Chem, though, once again, first blood over to SJ. Witter gonna pop those double walls, gets taken out through them. It's gonna be the paint shells with the finish. Thigworm has been so dynamite with these paint shells. I think it's 4 or 5 kills this game and last game, just consistently finding the right spot to put them in. Honestly, Witter's Neon has been completely shut down these last few rounds.
Yeah, and I think that's the main thing, is that the catalyst to this whole comp is that Neon being able to rotate around and just being able to layer all of your utility on top of each other. It's so hard to approach a Breach, Brimstone plus Neon if they're all lined up. Shimmy going to be able to find something for themselves. Atlas, though, getting decayed up here. Nice shot to the head there. Now that heal coming through, not really going to do a whole lot because that was the decay, but nonetheless, appreciate the effort at that.
It's like the Christmas gift. It's the thought that counts, you know? They are going to send one member back through tunnel, though. Looks like Alberta might be able to make a nice round out of this one. John Hamm, though, this guy has been on fire this game. Reswing, he's going to be good for his 3rd of the round. And how many times have we called this guy's name? He is going ham. Haven't made that pun yet the entire game, so we're going to call it. And what we talked about was a dominant Alberta offense on Fracture. If you blinked, you missed it. They've dropped 5 in a row, and this economy of SJ is looking mighty, mighty healthy. Now Teddy going to be on that operator. Chem should be able to pick up a rifle from any one of these members. That Nightfall going to be ready. Thig has that showstopper if he can get one more kill or one of those orbs. We haven't seen Shimmy been able to find a time to find that res. The Sage maybe not getting quite the value, but you nailed it. The Neon is the catalyst to this comp. If you run Neon, you have to play around the Neon, and Witter right now, credit to SJ, they are completely shutting him down.
Yeah, look at Velocity's angle, though. Able to find Con moving past the Sage slow, but it's 3 members strong through Arcade. Big just going to keep moving forward. The paint shell's not going to find anyone there, but they missed the timing. They're already into dish. They're already onto B, onto B main. Moving forward aggressively. The wall going to be placed down, slows through. That's going to be the spike planted down by Shimmy. They have that res available, as we mentioned, but it's going to be a member pretty far away in Velocity. Here comes the orbital strike, just trying to clear out as much space as possible, but all up in tower here. They having to take that rope up. Witter knows that they're there, but here comes the Nightfall going one way. Gonna be so difficult to deal with this, not being able to hear any of these sound cues. Thigworm gonna be able to find one for themselves. I'm gonna be able to find the other one. And oh my goodness, You Alberta, this was your map pick, and it's 6 rounds in a row for SJSU.
That's the thing, it's okay if they maybe fall behind. It's a 6 in a row though. It's the fashion in which they've been losing these rounds. It's even rounds when they look like they maybe have the advantage. They have the numbers, they get the spike planted, and they just fall apart at the seams. They burn that orbital strike as well, really thinking they're going to lock things down. Granted, now we're going to finally see that tactical timeout. Alberta, this is what we talked about it during the break, Adam. I said, hey, what if they're a little bit off kilt from last game? What if something maybe starts to go wrong on Fracture and they start to second guess themselves? And man, I'll tell you what, if there was ever a situation when they were second guessing, this might be the one.
Definitely not ideal. And I think the main thing is that you get your 4 rounds and then you say, okay, you know what, we'll have a for fun round. We'll try something a little bit crazy. It doesn't work out. Oh, you look at the economies. Okay, we've got another buy for ourselves. You lose that buy round. Oh, we're forced to save, buy, save. And then your economy's a little bit in the dirt there. You're sort of stuck in that infinite loop of buy, save, buy, save, buy, save. And I think that's sort of how these rounds end up falling in twos a lot of the time, is because if you force a buy, you're screwing yourself over for the next round, all so on and so forth at that point. You know, Shimmy just saying, hey guys, listen up. We got to focus up. This is our map pick. There's no way that we are going to go out of the top bracket of CVAL on a loss like this to a team that's only played Fracture once competitively, at least in the last couple of months. So really want to sort of turn up the heat here. I think Alberta, they just need to try and find some sort of new situation. And as we said, if this team is so well versed on Fracture, they should have myriads of different strategies.
As you said, not only is it their map pick, it is their side pick. They are credited, they are known for their attack on Fracture. And again, I think it all comes back to that Neon play. Witter had a fantastic start with the Neon, created all the space in the world, and honestly, he's gotten a little bit unlucky getting pre-fired, getting paint shelled through those double walls. Teddy, though, on this operator, trying to find that first pick. Gonna rendezvous out of dodge, though. Try to re-fire on this angle. Setting up to keep this B site defended with his life. Gonna be a split push, though. A couple members gonna take those ropes to that backside now. Maybe we're gonna see this 5 stack toward B. We might see that A rotation as well, though. Curious to see what Alberta's got thinking. And again, they haven't really found a time to use that Sage res or that wall. Sage, not that it's been a useless pick, but it hasn't gotten nearly the value they expected through this first half.
And I think that's just because of how chaotic the side of SJSU are willing to play those rounds. Sage is one of those agents that needs a little bit of time. You know, be patient with her. Give her a second. Teddy gonna miss that op shot. No. Headhunter's not gonna land, but the shorty shot gonna come through. Returned there by Curry. Witter gonna be able to drop that spike.
Oh my goodness.
But John Hamm finds 3 once again.
Down B.
This dude cannot be stopped. Well, can be stopped. The Stinger gonna come down, but the numbers advantage has already been granted, even through the res. It's 3 for John Hamm. Now, just gonna hold the line. Shimmy with the Stinger gonna be able to find 1.
Wow.
Out the pistol, will not be able to complete it. 7 in a row. SJSU have got themselves in a great
All right,
spot.
what happened to John Hamm? He played really good these first 2 maps, but what has gotten into this guy? He is unstoppable on Fracture. Maybe this was his pocket pick. He has been playing so well, 17, 5, and 6 on the Brimstone. Look at what we talked about. When your chamber players can comfortably sit just above that positive KDA, even that raise as well, Thagorb, who's been excellent. John Hamm, 17 kills. Kem, 12, 7, and 10. These are insane stats for the first half. And we talked about it, 7 rounds in a row. Tour de Force online and the Orbital Strike. The weapon advantage as well. This is looking like it might be an 8th round, an 8-4 defensive half potentially on the front here. Alberta, they gotta figure it out, man.
Gotta get themselves collected in that sense. Look at this, 2 members pushing through Dish here.
Oh.
They were going to be able to find one with the operator there. Jimmy trying to reply in kind here. That op shot not quite going to land. It's a leg shot, I think, on the Shimmy, who's barely staying alive. Once again, John Hamm strikes again. See you later, Shimmy. Trying to get to the opposite side. Now look at where the spike is. Everyone can just hang out, have a great time. Vibing out on that spike there. And 3v3, but if you don't have the spike, what do you do?
And look at this defensive positioning. It is perfect. You have that 2 on one side, and they're going to read the 2 for 2, and they have the operator, and they have John Hamm still finding heads left and right. Adam, I can't believe I'm going to say this. It looks like it's going to be 8 in a row on defense for SJSU. Witter's going to fall, and that is going to be the case. 8 unanswered. Can you believe what we're watching right now?
On you, Alberta's Fracture.
On their side, on their map, in their house.
Oh my goodness. It's shocking to say the least. And I think a lot of that just might have to do with the fact that, it's getting late in the night here. Teams are getting tired. They've been playing Valorant for hours and hours and hours at this point, but this is where your composure needs to be at its strongest. You need to hold the line if you're the side of Alberta, and I guess it comes down to your defensive half. As we said, off the top, their attack was really their strong point. Their defense is rather average. They usually go 6-6 on these defensive halves, so at that point, what do you wager will end up happening? Do you think that Alberta can hold on this defense and hold their house strong, or it's just a little bit too much coming through from SJSU right now? Of course, pistol round not going to be the best indicator of that, but we'll find out how that works. Shimmy already walling off an area saying, hey, good luck coming through.
And this is going to be at least the beauty of the stage on defense. You're immediately going to get more value. You can place that wall right away, kind of dictate the pace of the round, at least to start things off. Even if they end up chunking through the wall, you get a ton of information. You make them waste maybe ammo, maybe a little bit of utility. You get a read on the situation. But they're going to have to find these rounds, though. If SJSU takes this pistol and it ends up being 9-4, Alberta has already called the timeout as well. I'm not exactly sure. They're going to have to really work on the fly and figure things out.
And I think looking at this, they're just waiting for the Sage Wall to fall. They're making sure they're causing as much chaos as possible. It is 5 members of Alberta on B site. Ding dong. The doorbell's ringing on the opposite side of the map there. Your home alarm system isn't there. Your dog isn't barking. They're on vacation. And oh my goodness, they just walked right into your house. They're ransacking.
That wasn't that. They just left the keys in the mailbox and said, make sure you put them back when you're done. They walk right on site. Chem gonna engage first here. Witter finally gonna find that kill with the frenzy. Gonna open things up hopefully for them. Big Werb will find the first kill. Oh, spray transfer is all day. Money shot. Teddy picks up 2 as well. SJ 3v1 all on the shoulders of Atlas. He's had the weight of the world on his shoulders a lot of this series. Big Werb gonna be good for his third, and Adam, I can't believe I'm saying it again, 9 in a row for SJ. These guys are on fire.
Yeah, I thought the UBC USC Cardinal game was earlier where we had the streaky teams going at it because, oh my goodness, what is going on? 9 in
out
a
the red
row.
carpet. Look at that stat line.
Looking like my match history half the time as well at that red carpet. My goodness. I mean, John Hamm's the one who just sort of led this charge. Con had some really strong games, and Con's just like
3 and 5, dude. Like, just quiet. Quiet.
Like, he's not given the chance to find any kills because John Hamm's getting 3 around, it feels like, every single time.
Oh.
They just turn it up to 11. And SJSU, my goodness, what a performance on Fracture. It seems as if they just sort of fell into the trap. Alberta said, we have been so good on Fracture, and now they're struggling. And if you're at this point, the mental has to be starting to fall a little bit here. You just lost 9 rounds in a row on your map pick. You don't have your timeout left. Really just comes down to whether you can hold your composure, whether you can figure it all out. Already getting onto site here. Thigworm getting blinded up by his own teammate there, but already finding as much space as possible. That is the engage onto the site. They're trying to find the plan as quickly as possible. Shimmy with the bucky, trying to make something happen. Chem takes a decent chunk for John Hamm, already completing that plant. You already know he's trying to farm that also.
Yeah, Chem hearing that shotgun in tower with that smoke wants no business with that. That Spectre's gonna be tough shots. Con and Chem though working that 2-man game, and of course John Hamm's gonna add one with the molly. Oh my goodness is right. It is 5v1 all on velocity. It seems like Alberta blinked and they're down 10-4. A flawless as well. Can SJSU be stopped, man? These guys, they just keep going and going and going, and Alberta, they just look lost out there, to be frank with you.
They look a lot. It's just completely subverting expectations at this point. 10 rounds in a row on any map is surprising. 10 maps in a row on your enemy's map pick that they have not lost on all season is astounding, shocking. Just words
their fears
words
betray
can't describe right now in terms of how to describe it. It's hard to describe it because it's devastating for the side of Alberta. This is supposed to be their confidence pick, the one they're going to get back in the driver's seat. They're going to, clean up a decently clean score. And SJSU have just said, nah, we're going to land. We're going to lock it in.
I'm going to say this too. This is a must-win round for Alberta. I think for the mental and both get back in this game. Atlas trying to find that first pick, but Fig, once again, that first blood onto Curry. That's a breach off the table as well. That is a massive kill. Witter is finally going to find that answer. Teddy with the Bucky and John Hamm with the Spectre. Oh my goodness, Adam. It's 4v2. Make it 4v1 velocity. Once again, SJSU, they are doing whatever they want to whoever they want right now. Fracture, maybe this was their pocket pocket pick, man. They kept this one on sleeper mode, waiting for the time to bust it out and show what they're made of. Velocity, though, not willing to say die quite yet. They're gonna have other ideas. This buy for Alberta is going to be very chalked. 11 unanswered. Let me say that one more time in case you just joined. 11 in a row for SJSU.
Shocking at that. I mean, John Hamm 21, 6, and 8. He is the sleeper agent the entire time. He's just waiting for his time. You know, there's a story about Fracture, and like, Chamber definitely had nothing to do with anything that has to go with Fracture. John Hamm had a lot to do with that. He's absolutely decimating Alberta at this point. If anything, he's definitely fractured the mental here. And now 2 rounds away from moving on, being that first representative for the West in CVAL finals at the end of the year. You want to lock it in now. You can taste victory. You're 2 rounds away. You've had a massive spree here for yourself on this map, and thus far, it just feels as if they can't be stopped. Granted, Shimmy going to be able to find that onto Thigworth, but it is not a cohesive buy coming through. Shimmy going to fall as well. John Hamm, who else at this point is going to be able to find these 20-second frag here? Eddie coming in from the side as well, and it's just so difficult to hold the line here for you, Alberta. It just seems so frazzled.
Exactly. Frazzled is the perfect word. Even when they're finding a couple of these frags, they look like they're not exactly sure what they want to do. That second guess is coming through. Curry, though, going to make a great play to get aggressive, take that kill on John Hamm. Now Kem getting challenged in tower. Alberta finally standing their ground, finally breaking the 11-round run. This is a round they absolutely had to have, and they have it in a big way. They keep 4 members alive as well. Unfortunately for them, they have to win 8 out of the next 10 if they want to at least force this to overtime or potentially win this game.
Team Ace.
And I think the main thing to keep in mind is if they're able to find a win this round as well, the economy is going to start to break down on the opposite side. Their 3 rounds in a row is pretty mega, and especially when you're picking up all the guns afterwards, you're saving so many credits. But in this situation, you need to find 3, 4, 5 rounds of your own in return. If any team's going to do it, though, it's going to be you, Alberta. We've talked about it. They have so much history on this map. John Hamm start to run low on those credits as well. Might be able to get bought up here by, I think we're potentially next round. Actually, yeah, they're going to reallocate the funds there as well. Nonetheless, always worried here. The stun's going to come down. They were just biding their time, playing so patiently here for the side of you, Alberta. They need to hold their ground. They need to hold their homeland there.
Yeah, Alberta, they do not want to get sent packing down to that losers against UBC earlier than they have to. Velocity and Teddy, both of these Chamber players trying to eye each other up. Aftershock, stuns, paint shells galore. Everything going off on this site. Velocity getting the read on Teddy, though. That is a massive kill to start this round off. Try to get that economy stifled, as you said. If they can win this round, they can cripple that eco a little bit. Try to snowball this to maybe 11-7, 11-8, and then you can really start to work back yourself into that game. You got the mental back on track. They still have to get out of this round, though. SJSU, John Hamm is alive. We know this is a dangerous, dangerous man. Thigworth, the timing with Velocity might be everything, though. Can he spot out Curry behind that wall? Not going to see it yet. Velocity facing behind him, though. That is a beautiful play. Kem is going to find that trade, though. Here comes the orbital strike, trying to displace these members. Kem, backside a winner. He's got the lineup. Curry's going to find one as well. Now we're into a 2v1. Khan, the lone survivor for this SJSU squad. Spike is down next to him. Can he find the angle? Can he find the timing? Pop shots are going to go through. He has that fault line, and he has the aftershock as well. He is going to plant the spike. Just kidding. Atlas double tap through the wall. Exactly what they were looking for. And Alberta going to stay alive, and they're going to keep on kicking.
And SJSU now forced into a little bit of a save situation here. Yes, you can possibly buy a couple of hero rifles, likely on Teddy and Khan. Maybe Teddy's just going to go for that tour de force, buying a rifle for John Hamm at this point. It's just the scoreboards. You look at this, it's so strange. John Hamm, Thigworth, Hamm just all fragging out above the side of you, Alberta here. They just haven't been able to get off the ground. It just seems like every single time they're dashing in for something, they aren't that successful. It's 50% success rate, and a lot of those times those non-successes are just resulting in deaths. Now for a slow march, a couple of members peeking out through here. Thigworth gonna miss a bunch of shots there. Actually, Atlas able to clean that one up. down to whether they are able to hold the line, and they switch immediately over towards that B
Yeah,
side.
maybe a little bit too ambitious from Thigworb, especially considering there are dueling tour de forces on the field. Maybe you wait for Teddy to try to find that first pick to open things up. He is still going to have this tour de force ready and waiting. Look at that angle, though, from that opposite chamber. That is a disgusting angle. He has the timing, velocity, a beautiful job. Can he find that re-trigger, though? Shimmy is going to pick up that last piece. They're going to have control of this site. Teddy, good to answer. One back on Witter there. That spray down going to come through from that Sage velocity. Still holding that tight angle. Teddy going to take his talents over to the tunnel here. See if he can reposition, catch one or two members unawares. But it is going to be a very tough round out here from SJ. Unless...
Oh, was able to find just a shoulder shimmy. Once again, giving a little bit of an XD shimmy there. Pops out the shoulder. Teddy punishes once again. It is a 2v3 though. Con and Teddy both not topped up on health. Just to hold on the angle, the spike in plain sight. Chamber though a little bit too far off. Great following, gonna read out exactly when that's set to come. Velocity lurking around the corner. Are they gonna find the peak in time?
Here.
Surely they have to find the peak.
There it is.
Con gonna be finding that plant. Velocity finds the kill onto Teddy. There's actually no time. The Rolling Thunder comes down. It's gonna be one kill picked up by Con. But the rear row, number 2, Atlas gonna be coming through. The 7th round going in favor of you, Alberta. Somehow, some way, they are clawing, scratching, screaming their way back into this one. Against all odds, despite 11 rounds in a row, Alberta said, you know what? Yeah, we just wanted to make it 30.
Listen, this is a good enough team. We should have suspected they were going to go on a run, but I will say maybe one little blemish that Alberta did have that round. I feel like that was a bit of a wasted Rolling Thunder. I don't really feel like they needed to secure that 3v1. I felt like they were in a very comfortable position. They had good positioning as well. They should have been able to trade that one out. Maybe a little bit of panic, maybe a little bit quick happy on that trigger. The showstopper though, Thigworm getting slowed by that orb. Ooh, that game shell going to load out. They're trying to find some value. Orbital strike, they're going to come through. Chunk him down all the way, and Atlas is going to finish that kill. Great job of that counter utility. Sage very low, going to get some healed up there. Atlas going to be a little bit low on HP as well. Teddy with this headhunter, seeing if he can find the pick onto Witter. Chem is going to find the plant. Teddy is going to fall though to Witter. This is looking good for Alberta.
Yeah, a couple of kills already picked up. You hear the op shots coming down as well.
Oh my.
Hiding in the smoke, able to find one, able to find two with the spray. And now here comes the Rolling Thunder going the opposite way.
Oh my goodness.
Spike is down. Gonna be finding a third one. Has the operator
Oh
go.
my.
Do they have the aim? No, not quite. Pikachu comes to life. Witter needs to find 2 here. Gonna be so difficult. He even pulls out the Vandal, able to find some shots. It's 3 on Pikachu. They're gonna be able to find a 4th. With Spade playing off site. Not sure if they've got enough time in the inventory. They've got to try and find this member as quickly as possible. But Witter's running around in circles. Doesn't have enough time. That's gonna be a 12th round going the way of SJSU. It's gonna be a thrifty round at that. Oh, Kim drops the operator. And now you, Alberta, are down to their last life here in this winner's bracket. That auto berth to CVAL finals is on their tongue for SJSU.
Oh man.
You, Alberta. My goodness.
This is when we get to the good stuff. They have that res online, so maybe they have more than one life, but look at the ultimate economy as well. Besides that Sage res, they are nowhere close to having anything. Not really that SJSU is either, but that showstopper is such a difference maker. It can distill pushes, it can split up sites, and they're going to get closer and closer to that orbital strike, which, as we know, one of the best site clearing ultimates in the entire game, especially from that attacking side for retake. Alberta, honestly, 1 or 2 mistakes, and your night might be over.
And I mean, they still have that whole other map we were hyping up for so long, and yet SJSU say, you know what? No, it's bedtime. We gotta go do our assignments. It's finals week. They were talking about it during the tech pause. They're like, I got assignments to do at that point. They were, though, going on to site here. Showstopper trying to stop the show that you, Alberta, were trying to put on this entire time. Just holding. Not gonna end up finding use for it. It's just going to be a full push on. No one's able to answer that. Winner's going to come around the corner. Teddy, though, on the flank, finds 2. Cam finds another one. It's a 3rd for Teddy. And it's down to Velocity. If anyone's going to hold the line, it will be Velocity with that operator. But needs to find it onto site. It's a 1v3 situation.
Adam.
From behind, Khan gets it. And that will be all she wrote. SJSU Blue. They're going to be going to CVAL finals for sure. Winning on Alberta's map pick 13-7.
That was an amazing game by SJSU. They got off to that slow start, down 4-0. They take an 11-4 lead before eventually closing things out. John Hamm Give this man a gold medal. Get him on a first-class flight to LA as well, off to Riot Studios. What a performance by this SJSU squad. We talked about Alberta so much in the pre-show. I played devil's advocate in the break between us. I said, what if SJ just comes out and dog walks him on Fracture? What would we say then? Alberta, I still thought they would have the edge. I called the 13-10 scoreline in Alberta's favor. Fracture, attacking sided, it was everything they wanted in a deciding map. Ultimately, though, it was the deciding map for SJSU. They showed a ton of heart, and wow, what a talented group of individuals.
It's a shocking performance, more so out of SJSU,
Yes.
Blue, because just defying expectations. It was someone that flew under the radar for so long. It just felt as if John Hamm was just there, just doing fine, wasn't anything special. And then all of a sudden becomes the hero. John Wick, quite literally, just dropping every single person in their tracks. A massive, 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 massive performance from Dunn.
Oh.
And honestly, just wow, just what a series coming through. It seemed as if everyone was holding serve, and you get that one break point to secure the set. That's exactly what you need. And honestly, just congratulations to SJSU. Of course, you Alberta are not done yet. They have a chance to knock out UBC out of a tournament for the third time this season already in that lower finals. But of course, that's going to be looking forward to next weekend there in Jobin. I believe we have the schedule pulled up. We might have that after the break, actually. I think we're going to head to a break, and then we'll talk about that as well.
See you guys after.